It's Y.B.E.T.V. Today we're going to be talking about finding the right truck for you and how does that tie in to being local or over the road. Before we dive into that, we definitely got to pay some bills. Make sure you go to YBETV.org and you can go down to Ask Tune if you got any questions you want to ask me about business, the business course, trucking, if you want to know about getting t-shirts made, if you want to know about the mentorship program or anything like that, you can go to ybetv.org/shop and you can pick some of those things up. It's definitely a go-to. All right, so basically, finding the right truck for you and local and OTR companies. Now, a lot of people they don't think that thing ties in together. First, let's go over local. Local is going to be the easiest one. Let's just say you're in a city like Chicago, which is a great city to run freight out of. Even Texas, certain parts of Texas, maybe Houston or Austin and things like that. Texas is a trucking state, so you could probably find something local, and is a safe place to go in Chicago to find something local because primarily that you could always find something local, so that puts you in a position where you can get a day cab. You could definitely go get a day cab. A lot of the times you could get a cheap one. Something nice, get you a cheap day cab. It's a little bit more fuel efficient because a lot of the way it's lighter. You could get one, and it's just easy to run it. You could run it, you could slip seat it, meaning that you could get somebody to run. Let's just say if you run from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in it, you could get somebody to run from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. in it if you could find the right routes or whatnot. Like, let's just say for a place like J.B. Hunt, if you let them know, like, hey, I got to be back to the yard by 7 tonight, I will be to the yard at 7 a.m. They'll be like, okay, we'll work with you. And you might even run at about 5:45, sometimes 6:15 or whatnot. And then the other person will be there at 7 o'clock, and they can rock and roll. So that's a way to go. That's definitely an option. That's like having two trucks. If you could slip seat a truck or have a team running in it, you'll make double the income out of it. And it's one truck, so it'd be like the same income that a person would make running a truck with, running two trucks, run two single trucks. Now, that would be definitely a way to go. Now, if you were somewhere like, like in Fort Wayne, it's a little bit more difficult because things change. Let's say you got a company in Fort Wayne called ABC Trucking, and they run local. You're like, okay, this would be a great time to get a day cab. Now, sometimes those companies may close up, or sometimes you might have a company that just changes things. They might change the routes. So you like, man, they changed the routes. Then it's like, okay, well, I need to find me another local company. You can't find another local, so now you kind of stuck with a day cab, and you're like, what am I going to do? Because it's not a lot of options in this small town. So it leads you to have to drive 45 minutes, an hour and a half every day to get to work, and that takes away from your day. So that's definitely something to look at when you buying a truck. Now, you can't run no day cab OTR. You can, but it would definitely be a hassle because when you shut down, you need to find a hotel so you can do your 10 hours in, and it could just become, expensive. And it's just not worth the hassle. Now, as far as going over the road, a lot of people, when they're going over the road, they thinking like, oh, okay, I should get me a newer truck. It's all about preference. It depends. Um, we we done definitely did videos on that where we talk about getting a newer truck versus older truck. So I'm not going to dive back into that and become redundant. What I am going to tell you is this, that when you're thinking about going OTR, get you something that's comfortable and make it comfortable. Get something that you'll be able to live in. Like, okay, if you get a Volvo, let's just say you get the bigger cab because you're going to have more room if you're over the road, which means you're going to be spending a lot of time in that truck. So get into something that you could actually work in, that you could be comfortable in, that you could add things to. You could add your inverter to it. You could add your microwave, a refrigerator. You may be able to put a barbecue grill under the bunk, so you could be able to get that level of comfort that you would want to be over the road all that time and be able to be comfortable so you could focus on making your money and not be miserable in that thing. So that's definitely a way to think and a way to go. Next thing that I want to tell you is this. Is definitely one of those things with the over the road trucking, finding the right truck for you is knowing the routes that you're going to run. Okay, for example, if you're a guy that's like, okay, I just want to run like California to Florida back and forth, I want to get that lane of freight, and you're going to find a truck, you know that California does not allow people to run in their state unless they have the regen system. You know, it's got to be that emissions thing. They got that emissions law out there in California, so it's definitely something that you want to consider when you buying a truck, because you can't get you a '07 or '06 or '05 or '04 if you run into California, and you want that to be one of your primary lanes of freight. So you definitely want to look into that when you finding a truck and you going over your options. That's really it, man. There's not a whole lot to discuss on this. It's just one of them things that I was thinking about. Like, hey, people need to know these things when you're picking out a truck, because you don't want to go out here and buy a truck that you're not going to be comfortable in, or buy a truck that is going to mess up your money where you got a lane of freight, or buy a truck because of a certain situation. And situations change. The reason I say Chicago and Houston is because you can buy a day cab in Chicago, and let's say you at ABC Trucking and they shut their doors. You be like, okay, so what? They got DEF Trucking, they got GHI Trucking, they got JB Hunt, that's heavy in Chicago. They got so many different local trucking companies in Chicago. It's not hard to find a local trucking job where you can actually run that day cab. But when you in an area that's kind of starved for companies and there's not a lot of competition, you know, it's just one of them things that you will want to consider just going ahead and getting you a sleeper, because this situation may come to an end, and if it does, it opens you up to better situations, you know. So it's just one of those things. That's really it. That's all I got to say on that one. I hope that was informational to all the people out there in YBE land. You already know. This your boy Tunchi signing off, and I want to tell you guys, if you don't want to end up in a box, think outside of YBE.